Ah, how's that? Is that better? You know what I forgot to do? Press the button. So put in the chat there. Make sure you can hear me. I didn't press the stupid button. So thumbs up if you can hear me now. I think you're good. So, all right, good. That's what happens when you don't press the button on the machine. So, let's start over. Welcome everybody to the next episode of STATURDAY Chat Live. And it's great to see you all in here. Everyone's in the chat. Good to see you. So let me know where you're watching from. I always like knowing where you're at in the world and the reach of the channel, and it kind of helps me keep things into perspective about where you all are. And I do appreciate the time you have given me today to be here on the live stream. I know you have valuable things to do, and I do too. So your time is the most valuable thing, and I appreciate you stopping by the channel to talk with me and visit with me. So, all right, if you are new to the stream, the way this works is I go for 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how the conversation is going, how many questions you have or comments, and how you all talk to each other. So like I said, your time is valuable and my time is valuable. So we will respect each other's time, of course. And yeah, so what is new with the channel? Oh, good, you can all hear me now. What I was saying before, you ever have one of your ears go weird and like your voice is 10 times the volume inside your own head? I'm kind of having that right now. So what is new? I do have some news to kind of share with you. So yeah, let's get right to that kind of stuff. First thing first is that, as you may already know, and I'll get to the chat here in a second, I'm releasing some new content on time series. It'll look like this. So when you see these type of thumbnails on YouTube and on LinkedIn and stuff, that is a new piece of content. So actually, after this live stream right now, I'm going to grab my laptop. I'm going to go up to the coffee shop and like put the finishing touches on the first video, and hopefully maybe have it out next week. That's my goal, to get the first one out. I got 6 of them ready to record, but I want to get the first one out now that school has started. Oh, and on that note, by the way, if you have started, a new university, new college semester, uni semester, this week or in the coming weeks or whatever, congratulations. I wish you the best in your new semester if that's your thing. And I'll be right along there with you. So speaking of that, yes. But back to this. When you see this kind of greenish slide on the channel or on LinkedIn, that is some new content that I've been working on. And it's all on time series. And we'll see how deep into the weeds we want to go on time series. Time series analysis can get very complex. It can get very, convoluted in some ways. And it isn't all quantitative. A lot of time series analysis is more qualitative or judgmental. So we'll talk about all that as we go. But look out for that new content in the next week or maybe 2. But I'm hoping to get the first one out this very week, which is exciting. All right, so that's the first news. Second news item. Actually, let me put some chat up here. So, hello from India. Habajit, it's very good to see you. Thanks for coming by. And let's see what else we got here. So Pratik, yes, from India as well. Excellent. Namaste, absolutely, namaste, and hello everybody. It's good to see you. So back to what I was going to say. Go ahead and put your comments and stuff in the chat. We'll get that going. So on about a month away, there's going to be a special live stream, and I'm going to have some guests on. So the guests on that live stream will be Peter Bruce and Grant Fleming, who are from statistics.com, which is actually part of Elder Research. And they're going to be on talking about primarily responsible data science and sort of what they do at statistics.com and their work and research. And of course, you can ask them questions. So this thumbnail might change, but this is what it's going to be. So Saturday, September 24th, at the usual time, they will be here to chat with you and me and have a good conversation. So it's a great opportunity for you all to ask them questions. So, so this is the book that they wrote together. So this is kind of what we're going to be talking about in that live stream, but like, you know, Peter is a co-author on the Practical Stats book for data scientists. Great book. Peter is also part of the team for this Practical Statistics for data scientists using R and Python. So they're on that. And they are also, Peter's also on this data mining for business analytics, concepts, techniques, and applications in R. So they are going to be here on the live stream on September 24th, Saturday, September 24th, usual time. So make sure you stop by for that, and you can ask them all kinds of questions, and we'll have a good conversation around those sorts of topics. So looking forward to that. I haven't had guests on in a while, so it's going to be good to have some guests on and speak with them, talk about their work, and obviously have questions. You know, you have questions for them, and you can talk to them and ask them about their work and how it might apply to what you do and what you study. So, all right, what else we got here? Bemnet from Ethiopia. Excellent, fantastic, that's awesome. Thank you for stopping by. And Omar's from Jordan. Good to have you here on the live stream. Wonderful, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so go ahead and put your questions, comments in the chat. Also, I'm going to be doing a bit of traveling myself in October. So speaking of around the world, I've never really been overseas, you know, at all in my life. And October will be the first time. So in early October, I'm going to go to Germany, and I'm going to be in and around the city of Bonn, which is in the western part of Germany. It's near Cologne. It looks like the word Cologne, but it's Cologne, and Dusseldorf, and that sort of area. And I might travel around Germany, you know, because the rail system is excellent in Germany. But I'll be here with a friend of mine and his girlfriend, who I went to Indiana University with. I went to school with him, and I'm going to be visiting them there in Bonn, and anyone else. So if you happen to be in Germany or know anyone else in that part of Germany, let me know, and you know, maybe we can stop for a chat or something like that. Obviously, Bonn has one of the great math universities in Europe, so I'm going to swing by the University of Bonn, of course. Check it out. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the trip. I will see how that affects the live stream schedule. I might be able to stream from there. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I might just take a break for a couple weeks, you know, and have a vacation for once in my life. So that will be early October. So yes, if you or anyone else you know is in and around Germany, let me know. Send me a message, of course. All right. Denise from London. Hello, Denise. It's good to have you on the stream. Thanks for stopping by. That's one of my next bucket list places, is to go to the UK and ride the trains around there and see different things. So I'm trying to travel some more, you know. I've been always wanted to travel. Always wanted to travel. All right, so yeah, so make sure that you stop by the channel here in the next couple weeks if you haven't recently. I haven't released videos recently just because I've been busy with other stuff. But the new videos will pop up on here. Of course, all the content that I have done up to this point is on here, where you can find it nice, neatly, and organized by playlists and everything like that. Another place to find the content nicely and neatly organized is my website. So if you go to just bcfoltz.com and you go to YouTube here, you will see sort of a very brief playlist. If you go to Stats 101, you'll see more detailed information. So here, all the playlists are listed, and it'll link right to them. There's a view playlist button. It'll take you right to it. And then when you hover over, it'll tell you how many videos are in that playlist, the length of the playlist, and the average video length in the playlist. So if you're in a university or whatever else, and you're trying to shore up on a topic, and you want to know how much time it will take to kind of go through a playlist or whatever else, of course, once you're in the playlist, you can skip around, but at the whole playlist as a whole, you'll know how much time it would take for you to go through that. So I'll be updating this as I go. And once I start releasing the new time series content, I'll also obviously put content on my website for that as well. So you can find all that information here. If you're interested in the PDF companion guides that I have, so those are the things I sell. They're not expensive, like $20 to help support the channel. You can find those here, and it's for these 4 entire playlists. It's like 300 pages, 358 pages, 400 pages, 100 or 200 pages. So it's the entire playlist, and you can get, everything in there. So let me go down to here, show you what it is. So you get the slide there, then you get the transcript of what I'm saying, and you have a link that'll take you to that video at that particular time. So this link will take you to this video at 5 minutes and 47 seconds, and it will start with me saying this very thing. So that's in there. There are notes pages in here. So you can find those as well if you want to have those as a companion to study with this semester or for your own curiosity. You can find those there. Obviously, if you're watching one of my videos that has a download associated with it, like a file you can follow along with, you can find those under the downloads section on this website here. So, and of course, you can contact me through this little form where you can type in your information, send me a question or a comment or whatever else, and I'll try to get to it if I can. If not, I get to it on the live stream itself. So there's some helpful stuff on my website. It's just there really for you to find the content you need and the supporting materials you need. So please go to that if you need a little bit of guidance on what to watch and how long it'll take and any supplementary information. So that is that. All right. So let me get it back to me here. Voila. Okay. So questions or comments, please put those in the chat. Sanu from India, namaste. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I can give you a little bit more while I'm waiting for any comments or questions in the chat. I'll give you a little bit more background into the new content that is coming out. So it's going to be, several playlists, just like I do for statistics on time series. We're going to start at the very beginning. So my goal is to start like where a middle school student or a high school student could understand it from the very beginning, and then we're going to build up from there. So we will go through the quantitative aspects of time series. We'll go through the qualitative or the judgmental type aspects of time series analysis, which is honestly how a lot of people do forecasts in business. It's like, well, that's just, here's a number. So we'll do both. There will be R work in that playlist, in those videos. So it won't be crazy difficult. It won't be anything, that is really intimidating in terms of going into R and having to do a whole lot of things. Luckily, R is so mature now that there are a lot of incredible packages available in R that make time series work very straightforward and very, I won't say simple, but very transparent into what it's doing. And you can get some great information, of course, with just a few lines of code. You can get some plots with just 1 or 2 lines of code. So it's a lot easier now than maybe it was a little bit a while ago. So there will be some Excel in there. There'll be some R in that series as well, but it won't be anything that's overwhelming. And if you have some familiarity with that, no problem. Some of the data I'm going to use is actually my own personal data. So I went to my utility provider and actually grabbed all my utility usage data, and I paired that up with weather data. I paired that up with other indicator variables like, was I out of town? Did, I guess that's one of the big ones. What day of the week was it? To find, are there any patterns in my energy usage by day of the week? Hint, there are. And things like that. So I'm going to use data that is actually my data. I downloaded the data for my Fitbit. So I have exercise data on, there to look at, my progress over time. So the data I'm going to use is actually a mix of my personal data that I've just collected around me, which I think is very relevant. And it's very practical, I guess. And of course, there'll be data that's built into certain packages and other types of data that we'll use. So it should be pretty cool. I'm excited about that new content and that new new playlists and so on. That does not mean I'm going to stop doing stuff on statistics necessarily. There still might be a Stats 101 video I slip in there from time to time. Usually what happens is I'll be making a video or something like that, and then there's something in that video that would make a good like statistics video. So I might just hop off and do like a related statistics video that's related to that time series. Or it could be anything else, you know, whatever fancies me at that sort of time. All right. So I'm going to ask, do you have any playlists for market mix modeling? The only thing I have that would be related to that is, let me see something here. I have some of my first videos were, so my first videos were about management science. There might be, if that's what you're referring to, there might be something related to that. I'm trying to find it here. Okay, so let me share this just real fast. So Sanu, if this is what you're after, there are some videos that start on my channel with management science. If you're talking about like market or product mix, that may not be what you're referring to. See if I can find it for you. All right, so if you go to my channel, go to the little search box and type in management science, you might find something you're looking for there. So you have advertising mix. There are some other types of, I think there's a center of gravity in there, distribution networks, stuff like that might be what you're referring to if that's what you're referring to. So market mix or advertising mix could be different things. So that's the closest thing I have as far as that type of content. So good question. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Let me go back through the chat here. See if I missed any comments or questions. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that. So as I mentioned, the special live stream we're going to have on the 24th of September will be, you know, obviously I want as many people to be there to ask questions. So it'll be with Peter and Grant. We'll be surrounding, you know, their books and stuff like that and what they do. But we're also going to have, or try to have, some giveaways. So if you are interested in maybe winning a book, we're going to spin a little wheel or do something like that, have a little giveaway for books or a couple books maybe, and then some other maybe items that you can have a chance on getting. That's another incentive to go to that live stream. But I think the thing I want to do with that live stream is obviously so they can tell people about their work, what they write about, you know, what they work on, any research areas, and what they do at statistics.com and so forth, but also have them there so you can ask them questions related to your work and maybe your studies or whatever else, you know. So that is it's a resource for you all. And I want you to be, oops, excuse me, I just punched the microphone, but that sounded really good. So I want that to be a resource for you all and your learning, and they probably can answer questions for you that I cannot, right? So that's a good opportunity to ask, you know, individuals who work and write and research in data science and use R and Python and stuff, where you can ask them questions live, you know, about what they do, which is a rare opportunity. So please put that on your calendar, make a note of it. I'll, of course, on live streams and stuff and on LinkedIn between now and then, I will do some, you know, posts and stuff like that. And of course, on the live streams, I'll mention it again. So yeah, so please stop by that live stream and bring your classmates, you know, share it with your class. So if you are in a class or you are a teacher, professor, or something else like that, and you think your classmates and anyone there in the program might like to join that live stream and ask Peter and Grant, questions about data science and R and Python and responsible data science and so on, everybody come to the live stream. The more people there, the richer it is. So September 24th, 9/24. That's going to be the day we're going to do that live stream, barring something that might change. So, all right. Ben says, I've been watching your videos for five or more years. I really enjoy them. Anything you know about Ethiopia? I unfortunately do not know a whole lot about Ethiopia, or a lot about, unfortunately, the African continent, to be quite honest. It's not on purpose. It's just I haven't really studied all that. But that is something I hope to remedy and get better at over time. I know there's some amazing things happening on the African continent, and some really cutting edge cities and so on are really doing some amazing things in terms of technology startups and stuff like that. So very interested to learn more. But me in particular, I do not have the amount of knowledge I would like to have, or maybe should have, about Ethiopia or the African continent. But again, that's an opportunity for me to learn more, and I will definitely be doing that. So, all right. Raghav says, hello from India. Thank you so much for all your videos. You are very welcome. Thank you for taking the time to watch them. I wish I could do more of them, of course, but as many of you know, YouTube is not something I do full time. It is something I do when I have time. I have a full-time job at Cengage Learning, where I am the senior learning designer for decision sciences, which is business stat, business analytics, management science, operations and supply chain, spreadsheet modeling, stuff like that. But also, I'm the learning designer on the finance disciplines. So introductory finance, investments, managerial, intermediate finance, personal finance. I'm also working on those titles at Cengage. So that's a very busy thing. So I do YouTube when I have the time. That's just the reality. But I'm excited about the new content because I do have 6 videos in the can. I just need to record them. So looking forward to doing that. So it's a long way of saying you are welcome. Sorry I can't do more, but I do the best I can for you, Raghav. So thank you. Then he says, studying Lean Six Sigma, excellent. And your teaching material has been and continues to be valuable. Excellent. I'm so happy it's valuable, Denise. Thank you so much. Thank you for providing such great educational videos. Well, you are welcome. The thanks is all mine. The thanks is all mine. So, whatever time I put into making a video, which can be substantial, sometimes 20 hours to make a single video in total, that pales in comparison to the number of hours that viewers go and watch it. So that's the valuable time. So whatever time I do making them is dwarfed by how much time people spend watching them. So I try to make them absolutely, positively the best I can. That's also why I don't maybe put out as many videos as I would like to, because I put so much effort and so much time and meticulous detail into making sure that they are high quality, that they are educational, of course, that they can stand the test of time, and they meet your needs. And that level of just detail just takes time, of course. So Denise, you're very, very welcome, my friend, and good luck with all the Lean Six Sigma studies. That's great, and I'm glad to have helped you in some small way along your personal and professional journey. It's a privilege to get to do that for you all. So, thank you. Bemnet, you are very welcome. Yes, like I said, I have a lot to learn, and I'm going to learn some more, and you try to understand different parts of the world that I don't have a firm grasp of. But there's like I said, in Africa, there's a lot of really awesome stuff going on, and it's just great. So, Jay Tay says, just stop by to say thank you so much for your videos. You are very welcome. You helped me get through my PhD statistics courses, and I'm now working on my dissertation. All right. Excellent. Everybody give JT a clap for working on dissertation. That's amazing. So congratulations. So, but you did all the hard work. People like me are just there to kind of support your efforts, honestly. And I'm glad that you found the channel helpful, but you did all the hard work and you put the time in to watch the videos and study and, educate yourself in the areas that you needed to. And that's what counts. So you did all the hard work. Okay. So you are very, very welcome. Congratulations. And, as you work through your PhD, and if there's anything any of us here can help you with, just let us know. But please stop by the live stream every now and then. Let us know how you're doing. We like to keep tabs on how everyone is doing. So that's great. You're very welcome from my end, and congratulations to you. All right. Go back through the comments in the chat here, see if there's anything I missed. I think I got pretty much most things. Okay. Yep. I will, absolutely. So as I wait for any more comments or questions to come into the chat, I may explain a little bit more about the new videos that are sort of coming out. So of course, as I work through the content, Excel files I always provide, on my website. There's a little download sort of link there. If I do anything in R, which I will also provide, at the very least, the scripts or something like that. But probably I'll provide like either an entire project file, just zip it up and you can download the project file, some markdown documents that you can use as well. So, when I do that kind of stuff, I'm going to try to put comments in so you know exactly what's going on here and what's going on there and what this means, what that doesn't mean, to the best I can. I myself am not an R expert at all. I use it as a tool, like a hammer in the garage or a pencil to write something. To me, it's a tool. And I will never claim to be an R expert. However, translating it from the program through my brain to you as a learner, that's what I'm good at. So I'm going to try to focus on those things and provide you the scripts at the very least, not the project files, the markdown or whatever else. So you can then open up R, go right into it, and you can run your own code and stuff like that. I do also hope in this playlist, one of the things about time series analysis is that, like in a lot of these type of things, the data just shows up and it's just there and it's nice and neat and or it's a pre-loaded data set in a package or something like that. So I think part of the time series content that I'm putting out is actually going to be about data collection and how to organize and input data in a tabular format and how to use the right variables, how to format the time correctly, how to, if you're going to do multi-level type time series, how to set that up in your original data, right? So I'm also going to approach it from that way as well, where you can, you actually know what's going on, maybe from the point of data collection. Like the way I've gone out and obtained the energy I use in my home and the weather data and other stuff has been very interesting. People at Starbucks probably looking at me like, what is this weirdo doing? But I actually go in and actually grab it off the energy provider's website. I go to a weather place and find the weather for those days. I look at my schedule and see when I was out of town. I generate dummy variables based on day of the week and all kinds of stuff, right? So there's a whole process into creating the data to use in time series and other things. I think I'll probably make that part of it as well. So you can go out and get your own data. It's really cool to learn these things when you can go out and get data that's actually yours or relevant to you, whether it's an energy usage or your exercise or whatever, there's lots of interesting patterns out there in the world. So why not go out and grab some of the data yourself? So I hope to make that part of it as well. All right. Let's see here. Shashank. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I do try to pronounce everyone's names correctly. Everyone deserves that. I do my best. If I mess up, I do apologize, and we'll try to get better. So, hello. Thank you. You are very, very welcome. You're welcome. All right, so thank you. That's so much to know about you. No wonder you have so much knowledge. That's debatable. I have more curiosity than knowledge, so I guess that's worth something. But it served me well, I guess. And always try to instill the curiosity in people, especially like kids and stuff like that, so they can go out and just be curious. That's what makes people want to learn, is to be curious. I've watched all 154 videos, which made me an ASQ black belt. Wow. Now I'm self-study data science. Wow. Watched all 154 videos. That's incredible. Thank you for the time you put into that. And however, those videos didn't make you a black belt. You did. So, my videos and other videos that you have watched and read are just resources that you then take and put the effort in. So I'm glad that the videos are helpful to you, of course, but you put in the work to make yourself the black belt, and that's kudos to you and congratulations. And now that you're self-studying data science, I'm sure that you'll be well on your way to mastering that as well. So congratulations to you. That's awesome. All right. SW, what's up? I recently purchased the Practical Statistics for Data Scientists book. Yeah, I think it's this one right here. So actually, as I said, Peter Bruce will be on the live stream on September 24th, along with Grant Fleming. And they're going to be here to talk to you and answer your questions. Talk about, this is the book they wrote together right here, Responsible Data Science. Yep, so want some code, it's in there. Yep, so it's a mix of like narrative and a mix of like code examples and practical examples. It's really well organized and written to put together the responsibility we all have as people who work with data and data science and do statistics and stuff. And like the nitty gritty of coding it and everything. It's kind of like puts it all together. So they will be here September 24th, Saturday the 24th. So please stop by for that. But I'm glad you liked the book. You are very welcome. It's also not like, it's not overwhelming. Like this book is like, it's not super, it's very manageable. And of course you can download the files and everything like that, as you would expect. Okay. Professor Marshmallow, what is up? Hello. Good evening there in India. Excellent. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're doing well. Excellent. Let's see here. You perfectly pronounced my name. Good. Oh, I forgot to show you my shirt. I think y'all like it. So here you go. There you go. So always wear your statistics and math humor shirts whenever possible. So I wore that just for you all today. Okay. All right. Let me go back through the chat here. So see what else we got. Make sure I got everything. Okay. I don't see any new questions or comments. So now's your chance. If you have any questions or comments, now is the time to go ahead and put them in the chat. I'm not going to drag this out artificially because I know you have things to do, and I'm going to go work on the new content for you right after this live stream. I'm going to get my laptop and go. So if you have any comments or questions, now is the time to put them in there, and I'll answer them the best I can. All right. So let's see here. All right. So, all right, of course you can ask. You can ask, if I can answer it is another question, but you can ask a question or comment. All right. So what else do I got? I was going to show you. All right. So anything on your latest study you want to share? So I think if you're referring to it, so right now, obviously, as I've been making time series content, I've been devouring time series and business forecasting books, just reading them one after another, after another, after another. So right now, that is what I'm really studying, is a lot of time series stuff. So that's been primarily, as I prepare to make content for you, what I've been studying. So for every video you see me put on YouTube, there is it's like the old iceberg metaphor, right? You see this much stuff on YouTube. Below the waterline is this much stuff that went into making them. So I read and research and study and take notes and come up with my own problems, come up with my own data a lot of times, my own examples a lot of times. So there's a whole chunk of work that no one sees. And many people that do education YouTube are the same way, of course. So that's what I'm doing in my latest studies, is all the work underneath the surface, like the iceberg underneath the surface of the water, so I can give you what sticks above the surface. That's the best way I can sort of, that's the best way I can express it. So, all right. So I'm not quite sure I understand this question. The difference between Anova, analysis of variance, and of regression and normal Anova test. So here's the thing about that. As you may know, we can pull this up here. Let's see if I can find it. The reality is Anova and regression are cousins. So analysis of variance and regression are cousins, or you can think of them as two sides of the same coin. That's why when you run a regression output, like in an Outlook or Excel, or whatever else, you get an Anova table, right? So they are related. So let me share this. Make this bigger. So right here, this playlist 20, this entire playlist, this is the first video of that playlist, but it's playlist 20, talks about the entire relationship between Anova and linear regression and the general linear model, okay? So in these videos, I go at great length to show how under the general linear model, Anova and linear regression are in many ways two sides of the same coin, or you can think of them as sort of cousins, right? So this is a place, this playlist 20 is where I can recommend that you go. So if you go to my website here, the easiest way to do this, if you just go there, go down to playlist 20 right here, and it'll say there's 7 videos in that playlist. The whole thing's about 3 hours long if you want to watch all 7 videos, and you can view it from there. So that playlist will do all that if you want to know the relationship between Anova and regression. So that's where I would start. Okay. All right. But the long story short is that you can take an Anova, like an analysis of variance problem that has like, 2 or more levels to it or whatever else, and even nested stuff like that. And you can create a regression problem using dummy variables. So that's kind of the very short Cliff Notes version of it. But if you go through this whole playlist, you will definitely understand the relationship between analysis of variance, Anova, and regression. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Chao Ling, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I apologize again if I'm not. Sorry. And talk about interaction dummies. I'd have to know a little bit more information about what you're referring to or what the problem setup might be. So, yeah, I might need more information sort of on that. Is that related to what I was talking about with the analysis of variance and regression relationship, or is it something different? So I'm not sure I can, based on that alone, I'm not sure I can go into more detail, but you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn or whatever. Or on my website, you can put a comment in there and that'll email me your question. All right. Faiz asks, could you please provide us the slides of your Stats 101 course? So as I mentioned before, if you go to my website here and you go to the PDF companion guides, here you will find companion guides for the 4 most popular playlists on my channel by far. Okay. So here I provide those. They're not expensive. It's $20 for the entire playlist. That's what helps support me and the channel. So it's not expensive. $20 is not expensive. I don't think. I mean, in certain parts of the world, of course it is. But overall, it's not that expensive, relatively speaking. But those are like 250 pages, 350 pages, 400 pages, 200 pages, and you get all the goodies in there. So the slides, transcript, links to that video at that particular time. You have places where you can take notes next to the slides, and all that. So those are the slides I provide and I sell on my website to help support me in the channel for the 4 most popular playlists by far on my channel. Will I add more over time? Probably. I don't know when that will be because it's only me doing all of this. So it's just a matter of time. So that's how the slides work. That's how I provide them. So no, I just don't give my work away, unfortunately. So that's where they can be obtained. All right. Just want to thank you. My dissertation was accepted. I've been conferred. Excellent. This channel helped me pass my anxiety. Excellent. Well, first of all, congratulations on the dissertation. This is like dissertation hour. This is awesome. Congratulations, all of you that are doing your dissertations. And this channel helped pass my anxiety. I like how you expressed that. The channel helped you with your anxiety. And I think that's very important. I've talked about this before on the channel, is that everyone has to be in the right mental and emotional space to actually learn. That's a prerequisite. So if we're stressed or hurried or tired or whatever else, that's not a conducive mindset to learn at all. So, learn this type of content. So you have to be in the right space, just the right space and, in here and around you and stuff. So I'm glad that the channel helped with that, because it's really important to me that the channel put all of you all that spend the time watching it in a good space to learn. So, all right. So what else we got here? Put this off here. I'm reading the questions beforehand so I know that I can actually answer them. Let's see here. So I'll put this up. I'm not sure I can answer it given what you provided here, Brian, but first of all, thanks for the question. Do I work with the Poisson-shaped distributions? But I'm not sure how to apply. So what do I mean by apply? The descriptive statistics that Excel provides, i.e. the mean and standard deviation. So there are a few things in that question, Brian, that I'd have to read into, like how to apply. So what do we mean by apply? Just find the centrality measures of the Poisson distribution, or what, But in general, I think let me check my channel real fast. I think I might have something here for you. So, put this up here. So in playlist 5, we're talking about discrete probability distributions. So playlist 5, videos 11, 12, and 13. I'm not sure if you watched those. You might go and check those out, Brian. So we talked about the introduction to the Poisson distribution, some practice problems, and then we go into some graphs in Excel. So have you seen those before? If not, might want to watch those or rewatch those, and then hit me up either on LinkedIn or via my website and maybe provide a little bit more context. I might be able to help you a bit more. So I would just need a little bit more, framing and context to know exactly what you mean by applying the descriptive stats that Excel provides. So, but in general, I mean, the mean and standard deviation mean the same thing. It's a centrality measure and then a dispersion or spread measure. So sorry I couldn't answer that maybe as much as you had hoped, but if you provide me some more information, I might be able to chime in a bit more. All right. So Colleen asks, how important is considering interpreting the beta coefficient in a regression analysis? Do you mean the intercept term? So like b sub 0, we would call that the intercept term, or the b sub 1, which is the coefficient of the variable. What it means when it is negative or positive. So I'm going to assume two things here, Colleen. I'm going to assume that we're just doing a simple linear regression with an intercept term and one variable. So we can actually cover both. So the intercept term, which will be beta or b sub 0, if it's positive, that just means that crosses the y-axis above 0. So it crosses the y-axis a positive number. If it's negative, it means it crosses the y vertical axis below 0 at a negative number. That also means, by the way, that the regression line could possibly, depending on the second term, the slope, it could cross the x-axis too, but we'll keep that over there. So the intercept term, or b or beta sub 0, just means that that's where the regression line crosses the y-axis. It could have practical meaning or it could not. It depends on the question. There are certain problems where the intercept term is purposefully set to 0, 0 because it has a meaningful 0, 0 point. But most often, the very most often times, it does not. Okay. Now, the beta sub 1 or b sub 1 term, which is the coefficient of that first variable, determines the slope of your regression line. So if that is positive, let's just start at the null hypothesis in regression basically states that the slope of the regression line is 0, which is just a flat horizontal line. Okay? So that's that's the null hypothesis. If there's no relationship between the variables, then that slope will be flat 0. However, if there is some linear relationship between those two variables, then the slope of the line will not be 0. If that slope term, the b sub 1, is positive, that means, if you're looking at a graph, that the line will in general go from lower left to upper right. Okay? So lower left to upper right in that general direction. If it's negative, it'll do the opposite. It'll go from upper left to lower right. So on your screen, this is probably going the wrong way. So if I can get my fingers right. So this, there we go. So if this is the axes, if beta sub 1 is positive, the line is going to go this way, right? So if that's the axis. If not, it's going to go this way. I can't do this reverse thing. Sorry, that's probably loud. That's what the two coefficients mean, and that's what the sign means for each one. So the intercept term is just where it crosses the y-axis. If it's negative, it's below the origin. If it's positive, it crosses the y above the origin. And then for the beta sub 1 or b sub 1 term, which is the coefficient for the variable, for the independent variable, that indicates the slope direction of the regression line. Okay, so upwards and to the right is positive, downwards to the right is negative. Okay, and again, the null hypothesis is that it's 0, it's flat. That's where we start in regression. So, hope that helps. Yeah. So Brian, thank you. Yeah, follow up with me, and we can maybe clarify what you need about the Poisson distribution. Oh, well, thank you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. I don't really say it a whole lot, but thank you, Brian, so much for that super chat. You know, I do, if super chats and PayPal tips are very welcome. So obviously you can do super chats here on YouTube, and I do have a PayPal tip jar on my website and on my homepage here. So if you have a couple dollars, so it's actually up here on the right, so it's a little P there on my website. That's a PayPal tip jar. If you have a few dollars, if you can chip in a few dollars to pay for a cup of coffee that will keep me working at the coffee shop for 3 or 4 hours, believe me, that goes a long way. So thank you, Brian, so much for your super chat here. I really appreciate it. I'm not the type of person who likes to ask for things, unfortunately, which is why I'm probably a bad business person. But thank you. Oh, but on this note, while I'm here, so I have started creating a Patreon page. So I'm still debating if I really want to make it live, and then if I do make it live, just how many sort of tiers I want to have in there. The issue with it is that since I don't do YouTube full time, running a Patreon can be almost like a full time thing, because you have to have, you know, perks and things like that for people to actually want to be your patron, and that's just additional time that I don't really have. And the more time I do stuff on Patreon, the less time I have to make content. See, it's when you're a one-person show like this, it just, every time you tack something else on, it just is more things you have to do. So I'm thinking about it. I still might do it. I have everything set up. Basically, all I have to do is hit go live on the Patreon page, and it's ready. But I'm still thinking about that. But Brian, thank you. And anyone else who happens to do a super chat or a PayPal tip jar, I really do appreciate it. It's very kind of you. All right, go back to the comments. Let's see. I think that's pretty much everything. Okay, last question or two, and I'll let you get on with your day, and I will get on with my day. And actually, my day is going to be making content for you up at the coffee shop. So Raghav says, I learned blocks and treatments from your videos, but I'm having a challenge to understanding the design of experiments. Any guidance on this, please? So, where is it? Aha. So, Raghav, if you want to go more into design of experiments, there are many resources you can reference, of course. So, you know, when you start with analysis of variance in Anova, that's a good place to start with respect to design of experiments because they can be a part of the design of experiments. Of course, you can get very complex. One thing you might want to consider is this. So this is Design of Experiments Handbook. This is a great place to start. So I've read through this a couple of times. It's very thin, so it's not overwhelming. And it goes through everything you're talking about. So, and there are lots and lots of design graphs. So I can figure out find a good one here for you to hold. It's big enough to hold up to the screen. There we go. So here are like all kinds of design setups. And then they have how to interpret the different blocks and everything in here. So this is a very good starter little book. It's like, what? It's less than 100, like about 100 pages, but it's very thin. You can start here. So if you want to move from like analysis of variance to official design of experiments, this is a good place to start. And then from here, you can jump off into something else. So, yeah, so that's a good place to start there. And it's DO Handbook by Coleman and Gunter. Amazon. You can find it on Amazon. All right. Manchuk. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Hi, could you touch upon bootstrapping? I wonder that it results in new samples different from the original ones in terms of changing frequencies, etc. So bootstrapping is a whole complex sort of topic. You could talk a lot about bootstrapping, but it's another way to construct confidence intervals, actually. So, and you can use it for other things too. So it's just repeated sampling from a population of the same size with replacement. Okay, so if, if I wanted to go outside here and find the mean height of everyone that kind of lives around me, I could go out and get like a 30 or 50 whatever sample, and then I could construct a confidence interval, based off that inferential statistics. Bootstrapping is another way to develop confidence intervals through repeated sort of sampling over and over and over and over and over again. And with those results, we can construct confidence intervals based on the bootstrapping sort of technique. It's also applicable to other types of distributions, other sort of contexts, and it's very prevalent in simulations, of course. So you'll see bootstrapping in simulations, but over the long term, at least in my experience, the traditional inferential statistics method and bootstrapping method will converge and provide basically the same thing, right? So that's sort of my take on bootstrapping. I think it's good to sort of know the basics of a bootstrapping technique. As someone who does, basic intro statistics for students and stuff like that, it's not a topic that would be taught really usually in an intro stats course. So I haven't really covered it on my channel, but that's a very good idea. I have an interest in simulations too, just in general. So bootstrapping techniques can provide more information through repeated sampling with replacement, like we might get in other ways. So I hope that kind of answered your question. But yeah, so every sample is new with replacement. So the crude example I'm talking about is I go out and get a sample of 30 people or whatever, and I measure how tall they are. And then I put them back in the population. And then I randomly pick 30 again. 30 again. And then there's a chance those people might be in that sample too, because it's with replacement. Otherwise, my sample size sort of changes. And just over and over and over and over and over again. And then you'll have a distribution of means, that will look very similar to a normal distribution. in most cases. It's another way of getting a sampling distribution. All right. Okay, here. So Colleen asks, so in a real problem, when your regression analysis shows that there is an association between the dependent variable and independent variable because the p-value is less than 0.05, however, the beta coefficient is negative. That just means that the relationship, assuming I'm reading this correctly, that just means that the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable is a negative relationship. So if you're looking as the value of the independent variable increases, the value of the dependent variable decreases. That's what that means. That would be a negative sloping line. If you're looking at a graph, let me do this again. Here, this is a graph. You know what? I have a pen and paper. If I can do this right. If I hold this up, will it be right? Or is it backwards? Like that? Yeah, there we go. Huh. So, I should just hook up my iPad so I can write on it. But, so, as the value of your independent variable increases, the value of the dependent variable decreases. That gives it this negative slope. And all the significance test says is that the slope of this line is not zero. It's not a horizontal line. Because the null hypothesis, so this would be a negative, that'd be a negative beta 1. The null hypothesis says the slope is zero, just a straight line. So that's sort of what that means. It just means that the relationship is negative. As the x-axis increases in value, the y-axis decreases in value, assuming I'm reading what you're saying there correctly. And I'm talking about the beta sub 1 coefficient, not the intercept. That's something different. This is the actual coefficient that goes with the variable. So like, b sub 0 plus b sub 1 times x. Hope that makes sense. All right. Okay. I think we're going to wrap this up here. A lot of people are getting ready to go to bed where you are in the world. So Bemnet, it's good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Hope to see you on the live stream soon. On that note, the next live stream will not be until September 10th, which is 3 weeks away, because September 3rd here in the US is Labor Day. So I'm not going to have a stream on Labor Day weekend. I'm trying to make myself rest and not overdo it and use some time to get some R&R. So we're going to have a live stream on the 10th of September, and then on the 24th of September, which is when we will have Peter and Grant and myself on the live stream having a conversation about their work and the books they write. And you can obviously ask them questions. That's the point. So next live stream will be the 10th of September, and then the 24th of September. So look out for that. However, that being said, there are going to be new videos coming out on YouTube during that time, so make sure to watch out for those. I'll be interested in your feedback once those are out in the wild, so you can give me some feedback on those. And as I do them, if I can improve upon them, you all can let me know. All right, and then as I mentioned at the top of the live stream, in early October I will be in Bonn, Germany. So, my hands are still down there. I'll be in Bonn, Germany, which is around Cologne, or it looks like the word Cologne, but it's Cologne, and Dusseldorf, and that part of the Rhine, that's the Rhine River, you're looking at right there. So I will be staying somewhere in that picture. I think it's down on the right there, in early October. So I might stream from there or something. I'm not quite sure yet. But if you are in Germany or know anyone else that is in that part of Germany, please let them know. It'd be, I'm more than happy to meet for a cup of coffee or whatever else if you happen to be in that part of the world. All right. Excellent. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. It's been great talking to you all, as it always is. I appreciate the time you give to me here. So I'm going to, get myself together, head up to the coffee shop, do some work for you all, and then come back and have a relaxing weekend. So I hope you have a great rest of the weekend where you all are. And it's such an honor to talk to all of you here on the live stream. So I want to thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you again, not in 2 weeks, but again in 3 weeks on the 10th of September. Take care and bye-bye.